Oh my God. Okay. Finally, nakapasok ko. By the way, class, siguro let's wait for 2 more minutes for your classmate to join our meeting for today, and then we will start our discussion. Okay? So yun po. Oh, is Larry, sorry. Open ba ako? Ayan. Is Lorraine, or ayun. Lorraine, I will be the one to check the attendance for this moment muna. And then your task na lang as a secretary is that you monitor those students who would go out our meeting kahit di pa tapos yung class. Okay? So yun po. Ayan. Ay, sorry. Ay, hindi, sorry. Wait lang, hindi pala ako naka-share screen. Anyway, so we will now start our discussion. Ayan. So, wait lang ha. So, ayan. All right. So, good afternoon, grade 11 Dalton. So, this actually marks our official start. Wow, late na tayo ng 3 weeks, diba? So, this marks the official start of our um, lesson for the statistics and probability. Okay, so to give you a background of what you are going to learn or what you are going to expect with statistics and probability, it's of course that you may use some of the concepts in our subject in your research subject. So since you are having your your research in daily life one, I guess that the application of my subject, since it's a prerequisite of the research two, ayan, so statistics and probability is the prerequisite subject of your research two. So before you take research two, you need to you need to have the subject statistics and probability first. Okay, so to give you how hard is statistics and probability would be, actually class, this is not really to scare you, but actually statistics and probability, as I teach this subject for 3 years. Ayan. This is actually the combination of the 3 statistics that I've used to study in college. So way back in college, um, since I am majoring math, so that is 3 different subjects that is combined together. Okay, so we have the elementary statistics, we have the probability, and the advanced statistics. Anyway, those lessons, actually the lessons that are embedded in this subject is more easier than what we have before. And of course, the DepEd should know that, you know, the lesson should be relevant to your age. Kasi may mga parts sana na mabigat pero hindi na ata na aabutin. Yon. So yun po. And yun nga, I know that not all of you naman would go to engineering on college or in college, but of course there will be researches in some of the courses, and I think that statistics and probability would be a big help in that. Okay? So yun po. I assume that you already um read the module 1 that we have that is uploaded in our Google Classroom. So I will not discuss that further pa kasi it's all about random variables lang din naman, di ba? So our meeting for today would focus on the discrete probability distribution. But of course, we will have first a review. Bakit si Amarte nagasulat-sulat ng smiley dun sa ayan. Okay. So na tayo. Okay, so this is just a review lang. Okay. The random variable is a variable whose possible values are determined by chance. Okay, now, if you heard the word chamba, di ba lagi niyo narinig, pag kunwari na perfect yung math, chamba lang, ganon. Actually, it's from the word by chance. Ayan, colloquial word, di ba ganon? Ano yun, di ba, yung sa Filipino may mga uri ng salita ba yun? Di ba may colloquial, ganun. So, the word chamba actually came from the word by chance. Ayan, yan siya. Bakit ka ba natin sinasabi chamba? Di ba? Ba't nga ba natin sinasabing chamba lang? Kasi, we didn't expect that we got perfect score or tawag dito, we somehow experienced something that we didn't expect, right? So that is what we call chamba. Because here in random variable, the random variable are actually those elements, those events that is not that is not expected to happen. Which means it's not really parang kumbaga sa Filipino sinadya. Hindi natin sinadya yung isang bagay na mangyari. Kunwari, the probability of having a rainy forecast for today is a random variable, or the weather itself is a random variable. Why? Because we didn't intend to have a rainy weather for today. We didn't intend to have a sunny weather for today, di ba? Because it happens for a reason, or it happens because maybe of science or in some meteorological explanation, but we didn't intend to parang remote control lang, okay, sunny today kasi masaya, ganon, di ba? So because those things are happened by chance and we don't expect kapag by chance lang, di ba? So yun po, yun yung origin ng word na chamba. Charot, yun talaga. Okay. So, okay, sige, let's proceed. So, a random variable can be differentiated or can be classified into 2 kinds of random variable. So we have, ayan, it can either be either discrete or continuous. When we say discrete random variable, it only takes, or these are the variable that only takes finite number or countable distinct values. When we say finite, actually class, it's the opposite of the infinite. Okay? So yun po. When we say countable, usually ba, anong number tayo nagso-start ng count? Ay, sorry. Ikaw sa count. Usually, anong number tayo nagso-start pag magka-count?
1.
Di ba? 1. 1, 2, ganon. Pero actually, pwedeng 0, di ba? Kasi pag wala ka muna nabilang, 0 muna yon. Tapos pag may nabilang ka na 1, di ba? So, those number that we use in counting are what? Has something to do or have something to do with the discrete random variables. Why? Because distinct value means values that are exact and can be represented by a non-negative whole numbers. So ano nga ba yung mga bagay or mga elements na hindi na ginagamitan natin or nire-represent natin ng non-negative whole numbers? Or basically, kaya nating bilangin. So let's take for example, number of classrooms in a school, 'di ba? Pwedeng bilangin 1 2 3 like as easy as that. Number of boys in grade 11 Dalton, number of girls in grade 11 Dalton, number of teachers in grade 11. Ano pa ba? Number of books you have in your bag, number of pets do you have in your home. How many sabi nga sana how many hearts. Okay, or how many are you in your family or how many members do you have in your family? Yung mga ganon. Kasi madali lang bilangin. Like it's counting. Like the way how would you collect those data is by counting, di ba? So yun lang siya. So wala tayong ibang way how to, to get the numbers. By counting, by listing, by enumerating, and so. Okay? So next po is, sige, next tayo ha. That is for the discrete random variable. How about if we are going to talk with a continuous random variable? Ayan. Ay, saan na? Okay. A continuous random variable can assume an infinite number of values in an interval between two specific values. Okay, for those who have read The Fault in Our Stars dito, or somehow have watched the movie The Fault in Our Stars, remember the girl has lung cancer ata doon? Si Hazel Grace, familiar? Yun. Tapos yung actually it's a love story and then the boy has something to do with the lungs then and then tawag dito, pareho sila may problem sa lungs pero mas naunang namatay yung boy kasi siya yung alam mo yun, may cancer yung girl pero mas naunang namatay yung lalaki. So the story parang it tells about yun. And then what strikes with that book or with that movie is that may quote doon na ano nga daw na in every or in each large infinities it contains smaller infinities, parang ganon. Like kunari, pag sinabi kasi nating infinity, it's like walang katapusang bilang. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, tas nagbilang kayo na nagbilang hanggang nagbilang kayo na nagbilang, that is what we are perceived as infinity. But without knowing, in an interval, like let's take for example 0 to 1, there are smaller infinities in between of that. Like, ano ba yung mga numbers between 0 and 1? Di ba? Marami. Like, pwedeng 0.1, pwedeng 0.01, pwedeng 0.0000, and so, and so, and so, and so, and so, hanggang hindi na matapos hanggang dulo ay 1. So, there are possible values, and of course, that is infinity. Di ba? So, yun po. Like, the continuous, yun nga, as I've said earlier, since it considers the infinities, infinite numbers in between two intervals, we are about to consider fractions and decimals here. Ayan. This means that we can assume that the values that is represented is not only by non-negative whole numbers, just like the discrete random variable, but also by fractions and by decimals. Okay? Ngayon class, sige, isipin natin, ano nga ba yung mga bagay-bagay na pwede nating gamitan ng decimals or ng fraction. Siyempre, example ko muna tao. Hindi naman pwedeng number of students fraction. Like, paano yun? Kalahati? Manananggal siya, ganun. Kalahati lang siya, ganun. So, ano kaya? Sige, sino makapagbibigay sa akin ng example ng continuous random variable? That means what's this? That the variable itself or an object itself can be count or can be not really count, can be represented by a decimal value. Wala.
Sir?
Yes,
Sir.
Hailey.
Sir, pag nagbe-bake, sir, yung mga ingredients, kailangang i-measure mga 1/2 cup, 1/4 cup, ganun, sir.
Okay, so that's correct. So when we are about to to cook, ngayon, 'di ba kasi tama 'yung sabi ni Hailey kasi yun nga tawag dito, may mga ingredients tayo na 1/4, 1/2 cup, and so that's correct. Actually sinabi na ni Hailey yung keyword doon, pero sige, hanap pa tayo ng ibang example. Sige Hailey ha, we will take your answer. Pero tama 'yun. May sinabi ka kasi doon na amazing. Wow. Next, sige, other example. Saan pa tayo gumagamit ng, saan ba usually may decimal? Ba't nga ba natin kasi pinag-aaralan si decimal? O, saan ba natin siya ginagamit?
Sure.
Yes, Angelique.
Temperature po.
Very good. Temperature. Saan pa? Marami pa, di ba? O, saan pa?
Height and weight.
Yon, height and weight. Okay, sige. So, based doon sa binigay niyong examples earlier, like, ano ba? Like the cups or the sige, the volume, the liquid volume, like the ml, ganon, di ba? The height, the weight, the temperature, and so in which pwede silang i-represent ng number using fractions and decimal. Ano ang meron sa mga bagay na ito in common? Anong meron kay Anong meron kay height? Anong meron kay weight? Anong meron kay temperature?
Measurement, sir.
Very good. Kasi may measurement. Tama yung sinabi ni Hailey kanina na kapag nagme-measure ng cup, may 1/4, may 1/2, may 1/3, may may 1/2 tablespoon. Bakit? Kasi may measurements, di ba? Bakit natin kailangan ng measurement? Kasi we need to be exact. So, a continuous random variable is represented by fractions and decimals, unlike of the discrete random variable. And the reason why is because these values are result by measurement. Diba? Kasi halimbawa, if I am going to give you an example, a concrete example, di ba alam niyo yung capital? So from capital, let's take for example, from capital to Mateo Hagnis, sabihin natin ano yan siya, 800 meters. 'Di ba? And then from capital to the international airport, yung bago, it's from parang 1 kilometer yun siya. Now, if we don't consider decimals, we assume that yung Mateo Hagnis and yung airport is 1 kilometer because of the marker there. 'Di ba may 1 kilometer marker sa unahan ng airport? 'Yon. Kasi nga, yun yung marker niya. And we don't consider the decimals. But if we are going to consider decimals in between, malamang mas malayo si airport kaysa doon sa Mateo Hagnis na school. So, kung si Mateo Hagnis na school ay 0.8 kilometers, si airport ay 1 kilometer. Talagang mas malayo si airport, 'di ba? Pero kung gagamitin natin yung discrete, hindi exact yung pagko-compare natin ng isang bagay. Okay? That's the thing. That's the main reason. If we are going to trace back when we are in elementary, like in kinder, 'di ba? Ano ba yung una nating natutunan sa math? Nagbibilang tayo, 'di ba? Like the concept of zero, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. And then pagdating natin ng bandang grade 4 or grade 5, may may fractions, and then biglang may decimals, 'di ba? Kasi nga we need to We need to to give a concept or idea of what we are going to have, because dahil nga patanda na tayo ng patanda, pamature na tayo ng pamature, dapat yung idea or something na pino-perceive natin should be exact. Like in mathematics, we don't have the concept of of the fractions, but we represent the math has represented to us at the early age as a whole. And then, bago nagiging specific. Okay? So, yun yung importance. kung bakit tayo nag-aaral ng fraction and decimals and kung bakit siya pinapaulit-ulit lagi sa algebra. Okay? Though some of the topics are not really, applied to real life situation. Anyway, that's our curriculum kasi. So, ayun, I'm sorry. So, yun nga po. So, we have discrete and we have continuous. Now, since review lang din naman to, kasi nga, madali lang talaga siya. Drills muna tayo. Okay? I will give you a variable. I will give you a variable. Then tell me if it's discrete or if it's continuous. Saan ba yun? Sige ha. Wait lang. Sige, number 1. Sagot na lang kayo ng in chorus or bahala kayo. And then sige, gusto na magsalita open mic and then yun. Okay, number 1. Sige, 3 examples lang to ha. Okay. So tell me if it's a discrete random variable or a continuous random variable. So the number of mobile phones sold in 1 week in AB store. Discrete or continuous?
Continuous, sir.
Yes, Kenneth. Why is it continuous? Sorry. Sige, ganito, turuan ko kayo. Kunin niyo yung keywords, key points ang sabi ko pala kanina. Kunin niyo yung keyword doon sa buong sentence. Like my sentence is the number of mobile phones sold in 1 week in AB store. So what is the most essential words there? It's the number of mobile phones. Now, question. Yun na. O bala na kayo kung paano siya i-compare kung siya ba ay discrete and continuous. Number of mobile phones. Is it discrete or continuous now? Sige nga. Yes, Darwin.
Discrete.
Yes, sorry.
Discrete.
Okay, why is it discrete? Discrete.
Nabibilang po, sir. Tsaka sold sa 1 week for 1 week po yan.
Okay, so actually, Darwin's answer is correct. Number of mobile phones is countable, right? But, sige, balik ta rin ko, Darwin, ha? Bakit hindi continuous yung answer mo?
Wala naman, sir, mabibiling kalahating cellphone.
Which is actually a good point. Tama 'yon. Pero the correct rationale is that the number of mobile phones, parang we can determine the number of mobile phones without measuring it, right? Bine-measure pa ba natin yung bilang ng mobile phone? Di ba? Hindi na. So, kapag ang isang example, kunwari, binigay or kunwari, item sa quiz is nasusukat or hindi, or yun na yung agad yung gagawin yung clue. Kapag siya ay kailangan pang sukatin to determine the value, yun po ay continuous. Otherwise, kapag kaya namang bilangin at hindi naman kailangan sukatin, that is what we call a discrete random variable. Okay? Ito pa, another tip. Yes, Amarthea.
Ano po ulit?
Kapag continuous, parang require pang i-measure para mahanap yung value niya. Otherwise, pag kaya namang bilangin lang na hindi na kailangan ng measurements, discrete na yon.
Thank you po.
Okay. So, another tip. Kapag may nakita kayong unit of measurements in the, not really nakita kasi sabihin ko lang pala ngayon, or may narinig or may nakita kayong unit of measurements, continuous po yun agad. Let's take for example, ito. The weights in pounds. Pounds is a unit of measurement. Unit of weight siya, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, continuous agad yon. Kasi nga, may unit. Ano yung unit? Pounds. Okay? Sige. Next example tayo. The length of time spent in playing video games in minutes. Ulitin ko ha. The length of time spent in playing video games in minutes. Discrete or continuous?
Continuous, sir.
Yes, Hailey. Why is it continuous?
Because it was said the length of time, sir. So it needs to still be measured in minutes.
Okay, that's correct actually. Okay. Dahil nga time siya, of course, time is a unit of measurement, right? So, it is continuous. Last, of the number of students enrolled in grade 11 in your school. The number of students enrolled in grade 11 in your school. Discrete or continuous? Hala, tanongin niyo muna sarili niyo nga. Ang mga students ba? Means,
Discrete, sir.
yon, discrete. Kasi susukatin pa ba kayo? Halimbawa, ano ba yung, ilan ba yung Dalton na present today? 23. Kailangan po bang sukatin na para ma-prove ko sa sarili no, 23 students yun nandito sa meet natin today? Di ba hindi naman? So, countable. Okay? O nabibilang ko kung sino-sino yon. So, yun ha. Remember that we need to determine the variable if it's discrete or continuous. Why? Because in researches, it is very important to determine the random variable that we have. By the way, class, speaking of random variable, I forgot to say that bakit natin pala pinag-aaralan si random variable? Katulad ng sinabi natin, as defined, ano yung definition ng random variable? A variable whose possible values are determined by chance. Dahil kapag ang isang bagay, class, ay hindi considered as random variable, bakit pa ba natin siya alamin? Tama? Ito yung mga uri ng variable class na ginagamit natin sa researches. Why? May point nga. Kasi alam niyo bakit? Pag ba may isang bagay na alam niyo na, kailangan niyo pa bang i-research? Kapag may isang bagay ba na na expected niyo na yung mangyayari, kailangan pa bang i-research? 'Di ba hindi na? Kaya usually or most of the variables that is used in researches are all random variables. Why? Because ito yung hindi natin alam yung answer. Wala tayong alam, wala tayong concrete answer. But we are only given the possible outcomes in a given study. And aalamin natin from those possible outcomes, ano nga ba yung mga usually na mag-occur o yung mangyayari. Yun. Kaya tayo nagre-research. Hindi naman siguro tayo, di ba, katod dati, nung high school ako, syempre mga classmate din tayo, di ba, na na pabibo lang ganon. Magkatanong, yun pala alam din yung sagot. O para tayong ganon. Parang alam din naman yung expect natin, nag-research pa tayo. Parang ganon, di ba? So, yun yung purpose kung bakit natin inaaral si random variable and the and how they classify this. So anyway, ayan. So somehow may discussion na tayo about variables. Though madali lang naman yan siya. Ngayon, we will proceed to the harder one. Medyo stressful. So we have the discrete probability distribution. Ayan, disclaimer agad class. May mga corrections ata dito. Sige, i-check na lang natin isa-isa. Ayan. So a listing of all possible values of a discrete random variable along with their probabilities is called a discrete probability distribution. So a discrete probability distribution class can be represented or can be presented in tabular form, so using tables, in graphical form like we graph a Cartesian plane, in the form of a distribution histogram, or formula form. Yung formula form yung pinakamadali. Okay? Pero it is also the form that hindi natin madalas gamitin. Okay. So ngayon class, I will teach you how to create a discrete probability distribution. So if in your tawag dito, in your junior high school mathematics, since you are all transferees, if you have learned to find a group data, naalala niyo maggawa ng frequency distribution, actually it's way too similar to what we are about to do for today. Okay? Ayan. So sige, gagawa tayo ngayon ng discrete probability distribution. Sorry, ayan. So, ayan. When a coin are tossed twice, the sample space is represented as HH, HT, TH, and PT. Ayan. So, define sample space. It is the what? It is the all possible outcomes. Lahat ng kumbaga ba, sa exam, lahat ng pwedeng maisagot dun sa tanong na yun, basta tama, or let's say mali, are the sample space. Double S, all possible outcomes. Ayan. Tandaan nyo yun sample space. Now, pag nagtapon daw tayo ng coin ng 2 beses, ito yung mga sample space. HH, HT, TH, and TT, wherein H stands for the head and T stands for the tail. So, paano yun nangyari? Sige, i-ano na lang natin siya. Illustrate. Do may shortcut ako para dyan. So, first po, ayan. Pag nagtapon tayo ng coin, ano nga ba yung lalabas na face niya or side niya? Ano yung mga possible side na lumabas?
Head.
Pwedeng head, di ba? Saka pwedeng tail. Now, pag nagtapon ulit ako ng coin, same coin, syempre, magkakaroon na tayo dito ng pattern, di ba? Ano yung pwedeng mangyari? Pwedeng pagtapon mo ng first coin, head, tapos yung huli, pwedeng head, pwede ring tail. Tama? Pag nagtapon ako ng tail, pwedeng ang sumunod, head na yung maglabas, pwedeng tail din yung sunod. Di ba? So, yun po siya. Ngayon, ilang outcomes ang nabuo natin? So, meron tayong 4 outcomes. So, we have head, head. Parehong head yung lumabas ng pagtapon natin ng coin ng 2 beses. Pwedeng head una, tapos naging tail. Pwedeng tail, tapos naging head. Or pwedeng tail lahat. Okay? So, yan siya. Ngayon, kunwari, sige, yan muna. Sige, ito muna. Hanggang dito lang muna tayo. O, ayan. Yan na siya. Nagets nyo ko paano naging ganyan yung combination?
Yes.
Okay. So, ngayon, class, tanungin ko kayo. Similar ba? Ay, wait lang. Similar ba si head, tail, saka si tail, head? Similar or not? Similar ba siya or hindi? Sa tingin niyo? O sige. Sige, yes, Matt. Nag-open mic. Walang idea? Ay, may nag-message. Wait lang. Sir, similar daw. Why is it similar? Sige. Siguro in a way that pareho silang may isang head. Yes. Pero sige, yun nga, tama. Na similar sila. But, if you're going to consider yes, may nag-message. Parang nag-interchange na. Yun nga, which is correct. Ngayon, class, if we are going to consider the toss, yung tapon, these two are not the same. Though they are similar. Not the same, pero similar. Ang gulo, di ba? Pero they are not the same. Why? Kasi dito, sa first toss natin, head ang lumabas. And then sa second toss natin, tail na yung lumabas. Which is, on the other hand, pagtapon natin ng first coin, or ng first toss natin, tails muna yung lumabas bago head. Magkaiba yun siya, bale. Okay? So, yun po. Ngayon, class, sige, tanungin ko kayo, ilang beses tinapon yung coin?
Twice po.
Okay, twice. So, twice. So, ibig sabihin 2. Ilan ang face ng coin?
2.
So, 2.
2.
So, there is a shortcut here to find kasi baka gamitin nyo si coin lagi. Actually, gagamitin ko lagi si coin as example. So, para to find the sample space of a coin, kung itatapon man siya or what, kunin nyo yung number ng face ng coin. So, 2. Tapos, kung ilang beses siya tinapon, yun yung exponent. Okay? O, yan na. May shortcut na kayo, ha? Pag coin lang to, ha? Ayan. Pag nagtapon kayo ng coin, lagay nyo agad yung 2. Tapos, pag ilang beses siya tinapon, yun yung magiging exponent niya. In this case, 2 raised to 2 is equal to 4. Kasi dalawa yung face ng coin, tapos tinapon siya ng dalawang beses. So 2 squared is 4. O ilang outcomes meron tayo? 4. Diba? Ayan. So ngayon plus ito na. O dahil meron na tayong 4 outcomes, bilangin natin yung number of heads doon sa kada outcomes. O ilang heads meron dito? Dalawa.
4, sir.
Dito lang, wait lang. Isa-isa lang. So dito, dalawa. Tapos dito, isa. Dito, isa. Dito, wala. So anong meron dito? Meron tayong 4 outcomes na kung saan ito yung mga possibility na kapag nagtapon tayo ng coin ng dalawang beses, ito yung mga code or combination na maaari nating mabuo. Ngayon, bibilangin natin, hahanapin natin ngayon kung ano yung mga chance na maglabas yung number of heads. Ngayon, ano-ano ang mga variable. Yung variable natin dito is kung ilan yung number of heads. Okay? Ito, sa second example. Second slide pala, sorry. If x is the random variable for the number of heads, bibilangin natin yung number of heads. So, ilan yung mga number of heads? 2, 1, and 0. Yan yung mga number of heads natin. Okay? So, yun yung ililista natin dito. So, 0, 1, and 2. Ngayon, list natin ulit yung mga combination. Head, 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 tail, tail, head, and tail, tail. O, kunwari, mali kasi ito yung nasa table. Huwag niyo muna ito sundin. Ayan. So, ayan po, class. Ngayon, question. Ano ang probability na walang head ang makuha? O, check natin dito. Out of the 4 outcomes, ilan dyan yung wala tayong heads na makukuha?
Isa, sir.
Opo.
Isa. 1 out of 4 outcomes. So, if 1 out of 4 outcomes, kapag wala tayong heads na makukuha, that is our probability now. So, the outcome, the expected outcome over the sample space. So, ang expected outcome natin dito is 0 heads, right? Ilan ang 0 heads dyan? Itong tails, tails. So, wala. So, that is only 1 out of the 4 outcomes. So, that is 4. So, we have 1/4. Okay? That is the probability of tossing or what? Or that is the probability of getting no heads when we toss a coin twice. Ganon. So, pwede pa rin natin paglaruan sa yung barya. O pwede. Sa stat. Okay? O next. Dito, 1. Ilan ang probability na makakakuha tayo ng isang head pag nagtapon tayo ng coin ng 2 beses? O ilan
2, sir.
head?
Dalawa po.
2. That is 2 out of 4 combination. So that is 2/4. But remember, this is fraction. So we need to reduce this into lowest term. So that would become what? Ano yung lowest term ni 2/4?
1/2.
1/2.
Okay, 1/2. And of course, ayan, ito na yon. So yung ito, heads, heads, ilan? 1 out of 4. So 1/4. So we have 1/4, 1/2, and 1/4. So ito yung discrete probability distribution when we need to find the number of heads in tossing a coin twice. Nakuha po? Sino po may
Yes, sir.
question? Okay, sino po may question? Okay din ba yung register ko, class? Hindi rin ako choppy or hindi rin ako robotic. Ganon.
Hindi po.
Okay, sige. Tapos, ay. Okay. Sige, next tayo ha. Ay, nakalimutan ko mag-check attendance. Next meeting na lang, class. May meeting kasi ako ng alas 3. Sige lang. Next na tayo, okay? Ayan. So, as I've said earlier, it can be represented using using a graph. So, dito class, mayroon tayong tinatawag na histogram. Ayan. Or the probability histogram. Ito, bala ko pa sana ipagawa sa inyo, kaso wag na. Kasi nga face-to-face. Ay, face-to-face. Screen-to-screen lang, walang face-to-face. So, sige, doon na tayo mag-focus sa tabular form na lang kasi yun naman yung important. Now, in creating a discrete probability distribution, we have two properties to take into consideration. So, yan, dalawa yan. Dapat masatisfy natin yung dalawa na yan para maging discrete probability distribution yung ating distribution. Okay? So, number one, the probability of each element of a random variable should be from 0 to 1 only, or from 0% to 100% only. So dapat yung probability ng mga elements is hindi dapat bababa sa 0, ibig sabihin hindi dapat mag-negative, or hindi dapat sumobra ng 1. O let's check. Dito saan natin? Okay, so 1/4, 1/2, and 1/4 are all in between 0 and 1. So pasok sila doon sa first property. How about the second property? The sum of all the probability should be equal to 1 always. Okay, so dapat pag pinag-add natin lahat ng probabilities, the answer would be 1. So check natin yung ginawa natin kanina. Ayan, o i-calculate nyo na lang if you have your calculator. Pwede naman tayo gumamit ng calculator. So 1/4, 1/2 plus 1/4. So I guess that would mag-sum up to 1. So, itong itong random variable na to, na ginawa natin ng discrete probability distribution is indeed a discrete probability distribution. Kasi nasatisfy niya po yung dalawang properties. Okay po? Okay. So ngayon class, sige, bigyan ko kayo siguro ng 3 minutes. Sige, based on the properties that we have flashed kanina sa ating screen, which of these is an example or examples of a discrete probability distribution? So saan dito sa tatlo na to ang example ng isang discrete probability distribution using these properties? Sige, I'll give you 3 minutes and then I call 3 persons to, to explain why a certain distribution is a discrete probability distribution or not. Okay? Sige. Ay, class, sige. While you are answering, can I check the attendance? Okay. When I call your surname or your name or what? Ayan. Basta when I call you, you open your mic and say present. Okay? Okay. O sige. Para makorek ko din yung pronunciation ng ninyo. Okay, sige. Let's start with the boys. Let's have Avellanosa Gabe. Sabi kasi ni Sir yung Gabi.
Present
Tama?
sir, pero okay lang na din pa yan. Tama lang din pa yan. Ganun pa yung ibang tinatawag sa akin.
Okay. So, okay, present. Okay, next we have Luis Candug.
Present, sir.
Okay. Alexander John Chua. Wala? Okay, sige. Wait lang ha. Next we have Joel Emerson De Leozon. Oh. Wala din. Wait lang. Mag-message pag ano ha. Ay, hindi, mag-open mic. Okay, next we have Matt David Golon. Ay, parang di ata okay yung mic ni Matt. Or dito ba siya? Ayun. Message. Ayan. Next we have Kyle Angelo Leonen. Wala din. Okay. Christian Locinario. Okay, wali. Joven Ezekiel Redelicia. Ba't wala? Oh my God. Okay, next we have Jero Tangali.
Sir, I'm present po.
Okay. Next, Daniel Edward Tobale.
Present, sir.
Okay. Kenneth Valdez.
Sir, absolute present po.
Okay. Next, Sean Andre Valdez. Pag ito sila, kita ko mag-bike-bike pang sakaling ako. Charot. Minsan nagapunta sila sa school eh. Okay. So, last is Darwin Velasco.
Present, sir.
Okay. Girls. Anna Lorraine Abanto.
Present, sir.
Okay. Next is Clota Rose Alcantara.
Lauta po, sir. Present po.
Okay. Sige. Thank you. Next is Clarice Margaret Anas. Oh, wala. Okay. Jaira Angelo.
Present po, sir.
Okay. Next is Princess. Is this Hazel? Tama ba? Aven. Ba't man yung spelling?
Hazel, sir. Present po.
Bakit ito Hazel? Hindi ako to ha. Okay. Next is, okay, present. Thank you. Pamela Balofinos. Okay. Wala. Next is IKEA Bolivar. Ayun, wala akong marinig pero nagsalita siya. Nakakita ko nagtaas-taas yung mic. Okay. Next is Winona May de la Torre.
Present, sir.
Okay. Next is Christopher Alexia Denate.
Present, sir.
Okay. Next is Regina Diaz.
Present, sir.
Ayun. Okay.
Rina
Next.
po, sir.
Okay. Okay, Regina. Okay. Spanish, charot. Okay, next is Neandra and Frances Garzaliano. Narinig niyo ba? Ain, hello. Ay, nakikita ko man yung name niya. Ain, tulog ka na ba, Char? Ay, wala atang mic. Ayun. Next is Julius Micaela Heneblasa.
Present po.
Okay. Correct nyo kapag mali name nyo ha. Bala kayo dyan. Okay, next is Amarthea Marquez.
Present po.
Ayan. Next is Lorraine Claire Miguel.
Present po.
Ayan. Next is Shekinah Lou Montenegro.
Present, sir.
Okay. Next, Giselle May Paala. Oh, wala. Okay. Next is Camille Ann Padasas.
Sir,
Yes po.
si ano po, sir, si Camille po, sir, hindi po makapasok po sa ano, nagaloko po yung net niya.
Okay, sige.
Sir, Giselle din daw po.
Okay.
Hindi raw po mag-on sa laptop.
And si Camille din. Okay, sige. Note ko na lang.
Sir, pati si Balofiños po.
Okay, sige. Pag sabihin niya pag ganun, i-chat ako ha, like messenger, para ma-note natin. Okay, sige. Next, we have Hailey Doreen Pai.
Present, sir.
Okay. Next is Angelique Rosil.
Present, sir.
Okay. And lastly, we have Micaela Ann Soplico.
Present po, sir.
Okay. So, ayun. So, that ends our attendance. Now, okay. Balik na tayo to the ball game. Okay. So, ayan. So, for letter A, we have the probability, for the distribution A. Bakit probability na sabi ko? For the distribution A, is this a discrete probability distribution? Discrete probability
No po.
distribution. Yes. Why is it no? Sige, sino ba yun? Sila rin.
Hindi niya po
Sige, Ana.
hindi niya po na-satisfy yung property 2, which is dapat mag-equal sa 1 kapag pinag-add mo.
Okay, that's correct. Why? Kasi, though kung i-check natin siya with the property number 1, wherein each probability should be in between 0 and 1 inclusive, or dapat pasok siya dun sa range ng 0 to 1, lahat yun tama, di ba? Pero pag in-apply na natin yung second property, which is to sum them up and the sum should be equal to 1, hindi na siya equal to 1 kasi ang sum niya is, if I'm not mistaken, it's 23 over 20. Am I right? Tama ba? Basta hindi siya sakto. Mali pa rin nasabi, di ba? So, yan po. So, letter A is not a discrete probability distribution. Yan siya. Letter B. How about letter B?
Sir.
Yes. Lorraine. Tama? Ayan.
Sir, yes po.
Bakit yes? Wait
Sir,
lang.
kasi 2.
What do you mean yes? Discrete probability distribution siya?
Sir, discrete po.
Okay. Discrete probability distribution siya. Sige, bakit?
Sir, kasi equal siya sa 2 pero yung nasa X po, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Equal siya sa 2. Tama ba? Equal siya sa 2. Pero, parang kinonsider mo tong variable yung X. Tama? Tama ba?
Yes po.
Okay. So, sige. Question, Lorraine. May sinabi ba sa property na kailangan natin i-consider si random variable?
Sir, wala po.
Wala. So, ano ibig sabihin nun?
Hindi
po siya discrete.
Yun, hindi siya discrete probability distribution. So, pero tama, good observation. Pero, we will not consider this, yan. Kaya nga, di ba kung mapapansin nyo, parang, kung ano, bakit parang iba, siya lang yung 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Which is a good observation. Tama. Pero, we will not consider the x, the random variable x. Why? Kasi, itong mga numbers na nasa taas, pwedeng hindi yan numbers. Pwedeng colors yan. Mamaya, bibigyan ko kayo ng example. Yung mga x na yun, hindi lang yan nalilimit to numbers. We can also use nouns. Okay? So, yan po. Since 2 daw yung sum, o talagang hindi. Hindi siya discrete probability distribution. Pero actually, class, pwede nyo namang i-check agad si probability, si property number 1. Kung papansin niyo po, si 6/5 is more than 1, di ba? Hindi siya in between 0 and 1 inclusive. Hindi siya naglalay between, hindi siya pasok sa interval ng 0 and 1. So in that case, may isa agad na hindi na satisfy. So hindi siya agad discrete probability distribution. Sad. Sad. Okay, next we have letter C. How about letter C?
No
check.
po, sir.
Oh no, kasi check natin itong ano niya. Sige, yes, Klauta. Baka may gusto kang sabihin. Klauta.
Lampas po sa sir. Lampas po siya sa 1.
Okay, very good. Kasi pag pinag-add natin to siya, hindi ako sure, pero ang sagot ay 1 point ilan yun? 1.02? Tama ba? Tama ba? Gawa lang ako.
Yes, sir. 1.02 po.
Ayun, 1.02. So, lahat naman to, sabi ko, sir, lahat naman siya, pasok siya sa, sa property number 1. Yes. Pero, once when we check if it satisfies the second property, hindi na siya pasok. So, dito sa tatlo na to, walang discrete probability distribution. Okay? Marunong na pala kayo mag-check kung siya ay discrete probability distribution. Ngayon, class, ang sunod natin gagawin is bubuuhin natin yung discrete probability distribution. Ayan. Ngayon, sige, ayan. Bigyan ko kayo ng time. Siguro, sige. Sige, time. Siguro mga 1 minute lang to think. Okay. Pasadahan ko lang to siya. Okay. What's this? Madali lang yung A. Ito yung sinasabi ko na kanina, class. Hindi na siya number. Ayun, no? Blue, ay kanina pala, ba't nakaraan? Kanina na blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Hindi na siya number, di ba? It doesn't, it hasn't, parang wala siyang, it hasn't something to do with our probability. Okay, ngayon, class, kunwari wala dito. Ano kaya ang value ng probability or ano kaya ang probability ni yellow para ma-consider nating discrete probability distribution itong nasa set A?
Sir.
Yes po.
Sir, 0.31.
Okay, sige, 0.31, which is actually correct. Ngayon, Hailey, tanungin ka namin, paano mo nakuha si 0.31?
Sir, pinag-add ko po muna lahat ng given decimals, tapos yung sum po on, sinubtract ko sa 1.
Okay, actually, that's correct. Di ba kasi, ang sabi, dapat daw, kapag pinag-add natin lahat ng probability, kapag siya ay discrete probability distribution, the sum of their probability should be equal to 1. Now, ano nga ba ang number or ano ang value nung probability ng yellow na kung saan pag pinag-add natin lahat ng numbers na yan ay mag-equal sa 1? So, Hailey's way is to add all the given and subtract that from 1. So, the sum, I guess, is 0.69. And then subtract that from 1. So 1 minus 0.69, it gives us an answer of 0.31, which is correct. Okay, very good. Next, we have letter B naman. We have ito, 1/5, 2 over 15, and then x, 1 over 10, x. Ibig sabihin ng x na to, class, equal sila ng probability. So si 2 and si 4 pareho ng probability. So anong gagawin natin? So katulad ng ginawa kanina ni Hailey, or baka ginawa nyo rin sa inyo, ipag-add natin lahat ng given. So add natin lahat, and then i-minus natin from 1. So 1 minus yung sum ng tatlo. O ilan yung sum ng tatlo? O ilan na yung sum ng tatlo? So that is 1/5 plus 2 over 15 plus 1 over 10. O ilan? Para ba tayo ng answer? 13 over 30? Oh, we have 13 over 30. Ayan. Mukha siyang ano. Next po, class, is, yun nga, is i-minus natin siya dun sa 1. So, 1 minus 13 over 30, that would gives us an answer of 17 over 30. Ibig sabihin po, mga bata, ibig sabihin po nun, class, 17 over 30, yung sum ng 0, ng probability ng 0, probability ng 1, and probability ng 3. Ay, sorry, mali. Mali pala. Yung 13 over 30 is yung yung sum ng 0, 1, and 3. Okay? Yung 17 over 30 is yung pinagsamang probability ni 4 and ni 2. Ngayon, question. Kung equal si 2 and 4, and ang probability nila pag pinagsama ay 17 over 30, ano ang gagawin natin? O, kung ito na siya, ibig sabihin, i-divide lang natin sa 2 si 17 over 30. So, 17 over 30, hatiin pa natin sa dalawa. So, divided by 2. So, that would become what? O, 17 over 30 times 1/2 lang yan siya. So, magiging 17 over 60. So, 17 over 60 dito. Ayan. Nakuha niyo ba, class, kung bakit?
Ako, sir, hindi.
Sige. Ulitin ba natin? Sige, ulitin natin, ha? Okay. So, ang gagawin, class, is, ito nga, pag-add mo na lahat ng given. Ayan, yung tatlo. Ngayon, ang sum niyan ay, kailangan ko na ibang ballpen. Ayan. Ang sum niya ay ito, 13 over 30. Para makuha natin yung natitirang parts ni 2 sa ni 4, subtract natin siya sa 1. So 1 minus yung sum ng tatlo, ng 0, ng 1 sa ng 3, which is 13 over 30. Ang answer ay 17 over 30. Yung 17 over 30 na yan is yung pinagsabang probability ni 2 and ni 4. Take note na equal sila. So ibig sabihin, parang dinoble lang yung value ng isa para mabuo yung 17 over 30. So kung dalawa silang equal, at pag pinagsama siya ay 17 over 30, i-divide natin sa 2 yung 17 over 30. Kaya yung 17 over 30 divided by 2, that would become 17 over 60. Kaya yun yung answer natin. Di pa rin? Ayun.
Sir, permit to speak po.
Sige po. Yes po.
Sir, nag-leave po si Jero ng meet kasi nagkaroon daw po ng emergency sa bahay nila.
Okay. Sige po. Noted. Sige po. Ayan.
Thank you.
Ayun. So, yun po. Yun siya. Sige. Later, we will have ano na lang, further examples using that one. Okay. Sige. Next na tayo dito sa C. Ito si C. Yan. Ito encounter nyo siya by the future. Okay. So kung ano papansin ninyo, walang value silang lahat. Tama? Pero, anong ibig sabihin na may X dyan? Ibig sabihin, pare-pareho sila ng probability. Okay? So, kung pare-pareho sila ng probability, ano ibig sabihin nun? Yung 1, i-divide natin kung ilan silang lahat. Ilan silang lahat?
5.
5. So, 1/5 yung answer. Hindi na to sinosolve. Pwede rin. Solve. So, ibig sabihin, kapag ilang elements kunwari, pag X kasi, usually ganito yan sa class. Kapag ang isang bagay ay parang they have equal chance of getting picked, na iba-iba sila, and that na kung ilan man sila, yung probability nun is 1 over kung ilan silang lahat. Kunwari kayo dito sa klase, kung lahat kayo is, or yung mga present lang, so 23 kunwari ngayon. So kung lahat kayo ay may equal chance of getting cold, ayan, sa 23 kayo na present ngayon, ang probability niyo na matawag is 1 over 23. Si Ain, ang probability niya para matawag is 1 over 23. Si Amartea, ganun din. Si Angelique, ganun din, 1 over 23, and so on. Okay? So, yun yung probability nyo para matawag kayo. Ibig sabihin, kung ilan ang number ng students or let's say ng elements na nandoon na lahat sila ay may equal chance of getting picked without being biased, yun po is 1 over kung ilan sila. So, yun po. Mas madali. And this kind of distribution is what do we call discrete uniform distribution. But we will discuss that further na lang. Okay? So, basta alam nyo na yung tawag. O, next naman. Ayan. O, gagawa tayo ng discrete probability distribution with using this spinner. Ayan. Yung spinner class is parang roulette. Or relay roulette. So, ang gagawin natin pag when we are creating a discrete probability distribution is yung katulad din kanina. So, we will create a table. Pwedeng pahiga, pwedeng patayo. Pareho lang yun. So, we have X indicating the elements or the the discrete random variables. And then, we have the P of X. P of X is not a function class, ha? P of X stands for the probability of X. O sige, ano ang mga elements nandito sa spinner? Sige, let's say color. Anong colors na lang? Yun yung elements eh. Siyempre, di natin alam, walang label, di ba? So ano yung mga elements ng ating spinner?
Yellow.
So we have the yellow. Ano pang color dyan? Baka colorblind ako.
Green. Brown pen, sir.
Yeah, brown ata. Brown. Okay. So ngayon class, check natin. Kung i-assume natin na yung spinner natin is divided into 5 parts, ilan ang probability out of that regions or parts, si yellow. Si yellow ay ilan? Ilan ang region niya? Ilan? Ilang region meron sa yellow? Yellow.
1.
Yellow. Ayan. 1 over, 1 siya out of ilang hati? 5. Diba? So 1 over 5. So yun yung probability na ang lumabas sa ruleta ay yellow. How about green?
1/5 as well po.
Okay, 1/5 din. Kasi isa lang din. How about the brown?
3.
3/5.
Okay, 3/5. Okay, pag pinag-add mo natin itong tatlo na to, equal siya sa 1.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
po.
Okay, so this is a discrete probability distribution. Ayan. Meron pa, don't worry, marami-rami pa to. O, next. Sige, i-label ko na lang yung kulay, baka kasi colorblind. Okay, ito ay red. Ay, hindi kita. So ito ay red. Ito ay sky blue. Ito ay blue. Tapos brown, of course. And then yellow. Tapos violet. Okay. Oh yeah, sinulat ko na yung mga elements. Yun din siya. So these are sorry, not elements. Yeah, elements of random variable or variables. So we have the red, blue, violet, sky blue, and yellow and brown. And ang hirap magsulat ngayon sa pentab ko, madulas na siya. Okay, so P of X or the probability of each element. So ilang hati meron dito sa ating spinner?
10.
10. And out of that 10 regions or sectors or parts, what is the probability that red is picked? Ayan.
4.
4 over 10.
4.
Tama? 4. So 4 over 10. But let's remember, we need to lowest term our fraction. So what is the probability that a red is get from our spinner? Ayan, 2 over 5. Hindi na nakasalita si Ain. Okay, let's proceed. Next is blue. What is the probability that a blue is picked?
1.
Okay. 1 out of 10. So that is 1 over 10. How about violet? Okay, 2 over 10 daw. Tama ba, Violet? 2 over 10?
Yes, sir.
Ay, wait lang. Wait lang, klasa. Nawawala na yung mouse ko. Ayan. So, we have 2 over 10 nga daw. So, ay, nawala. Wait lang ha. Ayan. So, ganun class mag-create ng ng tawag dito, ng probability distribution. It might be quite easy kasi nga, this is our first lessons so far. Ayan. So, sooner or later, we will having more tawag dito, more discussion about this one. So we have violet, 2 over 10. We need to lowest term, so that is 1/5. Same way goes with sky blue. So siya ay isa lang, so 1 over 10. Yellow natin isa lang din, 1 over 10. And then brown natin ay 1 over 10. If we are going to add them up, it is equal to 10 over 10 or equal to 1. So this is indeed a discrete probability distribution. Okay. Dito tayo sa medyo mas mahirap-hirap. Ayan. Create a discrete probability distribution of the number of heads from tossing 4 coins. O ganun lang din class yung gagawin natin. 2 raised to 4. Di ba? Kasi 2 faces raised to how many coins? 4. Okay? Similar lang yan siya class sa pagtapon ng 4 na beses. So this is first toss. Ano yung first toss natin? Head, tails. Second toss, so yung dulo magkakaroon ng branch, head, tails, head, tails. Third coin, head, tails. Ayan. Marami na siyang branch. Head, tails, head, tails, head, tails. Tapos fourth, meron ulit. Head, tails, head, tails, head, tails, head, tails. Tapos class, susulat nyo yung pattern na nabuo nyo. Okay. 16 yan siya. Kasi kung 2 raised to 4, 16. Tama? So ano yung 16 na yon? Ililista dito isa-isa. So consider natin yung number of heads. Number of heads. Pero kunin nyo muna yung pattern. So una, head, 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 head. Head, 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 head. Next, head, 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 tails. Head, 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 tails. Next is head, head, tails, head. Head, head, tails, head. And then head, 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 tails, tails. Head, head, tails. Tama ba? Head, 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 head. Head, 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 tails. Head, head, tails, head. Head, head, tails, tails. Pa-stress ha. And then head, tails, head, head. Head, tails, head, tails. Head, tails, tails, head. Head, tail, tail, tail. Ayan. Next, sa tails na tayo. Tails, head, head, head. Tapos, tails, head, head, tails. Tails, tails, head, sorry. Tails, head, tails, head. Tails, head, tails, tails. Tapos, tails, tails, head, head. Tails, tails, head, tails. Tails, 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 head. Tails, 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 tails. Bilangin natin dyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 yan siya. Okay, paki-organize na yung class. Medyo ang hirap kasi magsulat. Ngayon, bilangin natin yung number of heads. O ilan dito? 4. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3. 3. Yung nilalagay ko number dito, class, is yung number of heads per combination. Okay? Head, head, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 0. Ngayon, class, ayan, based dito sa number of heads natin, gagawa natin siya ng probability, discrete probability distribution. Ang x natin ay, ayan, number of heads. Sorry ha, medyo, ayan, hirap. Yung x natin dito, yung ating discrete variable na hinahanap is number of heads. Ayan, number of heads. So, ilan ang mga possible number of heads na nakita natin, class? Ano yung mga number of heads na meron?
0.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tama? Ayan. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ngayon, aalamin natin yung probability of each number of heads doon sa 16 combinations natin. Okay? So, the probability, ilan ang probability na walang heads ang makuha out of 16 outcomes?
1 over 16.
1 over 16. Tama. Very good. How about 1?
4 over 16.
Okay, 4 over 16. Pero pag nilowest term, pag nilowest term, ilan?
1/4.
Okay, 1/4. Next, number, 2. 2 heads. Ilang 2 heads? Ilang outcomes? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ayan. 6 daw. So, 6 over 16. Pero lowest term, ilan dapat?
3 over 8.
Okay, so we have 3 over 8. How about 3?
4 over 16 po.
Okay, 4 over 16. And then,
1/4.
magiging 1/4.
1/4.
And lastly, we have 4. Ilan?
1 over 16.
1
1 over 16. O sige. Ito na siya, di ba? Yan na yung ating discrete probability distribution. Pero ayusin ko lang na yung maayos na. Saan ba ako mag-erase? Dito na lang. Kunwari alam niyo kung paano siya nakuha, ha? Ayusin natin para hindi nakakalito. Ngayon, katulad ng sinabi ko class, dapat yung ating probability distribution, yung mga probabilities doon is kung siya man ay fraction, you need to lowest term. Okay? Kung kaya naman i-lowest term yung class kasi yun naman talaga lagi sa math, di ba? Naka-lowest term. So, ayan. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, what is the probability of 0? So, we have 1 over 16. And then we have 1 over 4. And then we have 3 over 8. And then 1 over 4. And then 1 over 16. So this is the discrete probability distribution of the number of heads from tossing 4 coins. So yan po siya. So sige, may question po. Ay, wait lang, may nag-message. Okay, none daw. How about the other members of the class? Do you have questions?
None po.
None po.
Okay, sige. Last na lang to. Last two? Last one. Last one ba? Last one. Okay. So ito naman class, ito kasing sa last natin. Wala akong figure, pero spinner yon. So ang gagawin nyo, bahala kayo kung gusto niyo mag-illustrate, bahala kayo. Wala namang kaso. Basta tama yung answer. Okay? So create a discrete probability distribution of a spinner divided to 6 regions with letters K, A, L, K, A, and M. So kunwari ito spinner, bilog. Tapos, hatiin daw into 6 parts. O kunwari, equal parts. 6 equal regions pala dapat dyan. Kunwari, assume na agad natin na equal, kunwari. Tapos, ang letters daw ay K, A, L, A. Kunwari, spinner talaga. Walang K. K, and M. Ayan. So, ayun. Question. Ano-ano ang mga random variables natin na nasa spinner? Ano class? Ano yung mga variables natin? May sagot na si Ain. Sabi ni Ain, ano daw? Yung mga letters daw. A, L, A, K, dapat alphabetically para masaya. A, K, L, and M. Now, ano ang probability na A ay maglabas?
2 over 6.
Okay, 2 over 6. Pero pwede pa i-lowest term, di ba? So, ilan po?
1/3.
Okay, 1/3. How about K?
2 over 6, 1/3.
Okay, 1/3 din kasi 2 over 6 siya. How about L?
1 over 6.
1 over
Okay, 1 over 6. Ang M po?
1 over 6.
Ayan. So, pag tinotal ba natin to, equal siya sa 1 sa tingin nyo?
Yes.
Kasi 2 over 6 plus 2 over 6 is 4 over 6 plus 1. 5 over 6 plus 1, 6 over 6. So, this is a discrete probability distribution. Yan siya. Okay? Sige. Based on our example, I guess that you know now how to create a discrete probability distribution using or from the scenarios given. Next time, we will not only focusing ourselves to spinners or coins. Mayroon na tayong mas ma-improved na version Ito lang kasi yung more na ginagamit, usually most usual na ginagamit kapag yun nga, pag probability distribution. And I hope that you will learn or you have learned this concepts today because we will be using this again and again as we go along our lessons. Okay? So yun po. Sige. Before we end our class, I want you to check muna of our learning activity sheet that I already uploaded in our Google Classroom. Okay, sige. Oo, wala ko siya. Okay. Sige class, we will just go to the Google Classroom and then, wala pa, wag mo ng picture. Ayan. Picture na ako ni Ma'am Ellen. Ayan. Para may evidence. So, sorry, this is my old. Hala, na-miss ko yung Google Classroom ko dati, yung mga graduate namin. Ayan, so we will go to our Google Classroom and check our learning activity sheet. Baka kasi may question kayo, may hindi naman nagbabasa ng instructions, sarap sakalin. Tapos magtatanong. Okay. Okay. So, ayan. Okay. So ang deadline nito class is ano pa naman? Not this week. I scheduled the deadline next Friday. Next week Friday. So ito yun siya. Maikli lang, konti lang kasi ang hirap mag-check. Nadala na ako nung first sem. Okay. So we have 3 parts and ayun class. Binold ko pa ha. Write your answers in a clean sheet of white paper. Okay? Okay lang naman class na na intermediate, basta white paper kasi iba yung dating niya, malinis tignan. Ito pa, basahin niyo yung third bullet. Submit your answers or assignment in PDF and JPEG format. So, pwedeng PDF, pwedeng picture. Write legibly. When we say legibly, nababasa. Ang hirap mag-check. Tapos, ayan, in a clean sheet of white paper. Yan to ha, ito yung malaki. There will be deductions for those papers that are not organized and blurry. Kasi class, ang hirap talaga ba mag-check? Lalo na pag magulo, sarap, alam niyo yung kapag nagmi-meet tayo, tapos nag-check ang papel niyo, sarap niyo dukutin sa screen, tapos sakalin. Ganon. Ang hirap mag-check, tapos hindi ko maintindihan. May iba naman, okay lang naman class, nababasa, pero ang blurry, ang sakat sa mata, baka magkaroon ako ng glaucoma or katarata dito kagagawan ninyo kasi ang labo ng picture. Ayun. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na na okay lang yung pangit yung sulat. Wala naman akong kaso sa pangit ng sulat kasi issue ko rin yan dati kasi nung high school ako, ang pangit ng sulat ko. Pero the thing is, malinis ako gumawa. Char. Di lang obvious. Malinis yung paper ko. Bago niyo i-submit class, make sure din na malinis paper niya. Saka, organized tignan kahit pangit ng sulat kasi iba yung dating. Okay, minusan ko talaga. Kala nyo ha. Anyway, this is included in your performance task din naman. Kaya yun, kaya minus talaga. Okay, so ulit yan. Ni-reiterate ko lang. May mga iba naman sa inyo na okay lang yung writing. Ayan. Malinis lang dapat ha. Okay. So 3 parts po ito. First part, determine if the given random variable is discrete or continuous. 1 point each po yan. We have 5 items. Number 2, ayan, we have the question. You can answer this in not really a paragraph, but with a sentence or with short sentences. Yan. So this is 3 points. Why I chose to have this part kasi yung iba sa inyo class, nagko-copy na lang talaga. Kala niyo hindi ko alam? Alam ko, char. Yun da, joke lang. My point here is, yung iba sa inyo, nasasanay na lang magkopya, hindi na marunong mag-rational, hindi na marunong mag-defend. Ngayon, ang gagawin nyo dito is, explain to me how to determine a distribution if we are going to classify that as a discrete probability distribution. Of course, kung gagawa naman kayo ng ganyan, on your own words, hindi naman, dahil, sir, baka pareho kami ng sagot, malamang, yung ng concept, pero hindi naman word for word, di ba? Hindi naman ganon. So, kaya naglagay ako ng ganyan, 3 points yan. And for part 3, katulad ng ginawa natin kanina sa mga examples, gagawa kayo ng discrete probability distribution. Table lang, class. Okay? So, meron tayong 2 items, pero nakita niyo naman yung naka-bold na dyan, naka-capital pa. Choose 1 item only. Isa lang. Okay? Pwede rin naman dalawa gawin nyo, pero ang checkan ko lang isa lang. Bahala kayo dyan. Ayan. So, isa lang. Okay? Kung masipag kayo dalawa, sige, dalawa. Pero isa lang talaga i-check ko. 5 points lang yan. Kahit dalawa pa yung ginawa ninyo. Basta tama. Okay? So, ganyan lang siya kakonti. Ganyan lang siya kadali. Kailan po ang deadline? April 23, Friday. Now, tawag dito, bakit madali, sir, yung pinagawa mo ngayon? Hindi kami nasanay. Kasi class, baka magbawi ako mga next week kasi baka pabigat yung lessons natin. At least kahit pa paano na-feel nyo rin namang maging medyo hayahay sa math ng slide. So ayan po yun siya. Ayan. Ayan po. So yan po. Ngayon po class, as I am saying, I will be since na-discuss ko na yung learning activity sheet number 1, I will be discussing the module 2 next week. Ayan. And then this week din i-upload ko yung learning activity yung module 3. Pero yung class, kapag in-upload ko na, basa-basa din ha. Ayun, in-upload ko yan diyan for your reading purposes. Okay? Kasi nga pag nagtawag ako minsan ng recitation, wala kayong maisagot. Nandun naman lahat yan sa module. Okay? Though, nagkaklase lang ako kasi may gusto akong i-modify sa module na medyo mali kasi and confusing. Okay po? So, may question pa po ba? May question po?
None po.
Okay, none. Okay, so since this is our first lesson this is our first online discussion in statistics and probability. So I request everyone to open your cameras. Ayan, open cam tayo lahat to take a picture. Ayan. Yung hindi mag-open ng camera, kung may sumpa, di makakapasa. Nag-open din ng camera. Ay, walang cam. Okay lang yung walang cam. Yung may cam, open cam. Palain. Char, babagsak ka, charot. Open cam lang kayo para may kala nila sila na yung nag-picture. Tayo rin. Okay lang yan. Wala akong ligo ngayon, Char. Meron. Okay na. May mag-open pa ba ng cam? Wala na mag-open ng cam. Wala tayo lang. Sige, okay na yan. Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3, smile. Magwak. Anyway, wait, may huli. Ayan. Ayan. Okay, so, ayun po. So, again, thank you for attending our class for today. See you next week. If you have questions, class, by the way, if you have questions, feel free to chat me personally kahit wala na akong time sa sarili ko. And, or to our GC provided for our subject. So, that's all for today. Bye. Bye, class.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye,
Bye
sir.
po.
Bye po, sir.
Bye.